Hello and welcome to the Monday, September 11th, 2023 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting. In accordance with the state's Sunshine Law of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Hillsborough Township Board of Education was provided on September 7th, 2023 to the Hillsborough Beacon and the Courier News. Mr. Eckert, can we take roll?
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Jackson.
Here.
Mr. Kidd. Ms. Lanning-Beater.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Ms. Nurse.
Here.
Ms. Stats.
Here.
Ms. Trujillo.
Here.
And Mr. Murray.
Here we have a quorum. So I'm going to take a motion to move into executive session, whereas the Open Publics Meeting Act, Chapter 231 of the Bylaws of 1975, provide that a public body may exclude the public from the portion of the meeting in which the public body discusses certain matters for which confidentiality is required as permitted in Section 7B of the Act. Resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Hillsborough, the County of Somerset, and the State of New Jersey as follows. The matter to be discussed is the superintendent's evaluation. The matters discussed in executive session shall be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll be back approximately 7:30. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the Monday, September 11th, 2023 Hillsborough Township Board of Education. Mr. Eckert, can we please take roll?
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Jackson.
Here.
Mr. Kidd. Ms. Lanning-Beater.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Ms. Nurse.
Here.
Ms. Stats.
Here.
Ms. Trujillo. And Mr. Marini.
Here we have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to acknowledge the correspondence as listed. And we'll move on to the board president's report, which there really is none, but I will use this time to ask if there's any committee reports that we didn't cover in the last, look at this, Ms. Nurse. Thank you.
So the HR committee had to meet after the last board meeting, which is why there was not a committee report there, but we did meet on August 22nd in the morning at 11:15. And we discussed the following things. We talked about, or had the opportunity to talk about an exit meeting with our director of school counseling. We talked about we got a more thorough explanation of the middle school needs in terms of staffing from the principal there. We talked about building monitors becoming part of the HEA, an employee extended leave of absence, a personnel matter, and a request from the Hillsborough Supervisors and Principals Association. And we finished at 12:45.
All right, thank you, Ms. Nurse. I think the only thing I'll mention is, for those who aren't aware, I'm going to look at our YouTube page. We've got some videos around building back borough, which are great, and give you some more information about the effort and where we're looking to build the borough back. Ms. Nurse.
I'm sorry, I did forget one thing.
Okay.
We did have time to talk within our ad hoc committee about the activities, our ad hoc activities fee committee. And in that, we did talk about deadlines for activities fees and reminders letters. And that did start going out for fall activities, I believe. So if you haven't seen, please check your email. I believe the first correspondence was September 8th with a deadline of payment on September 15th.
All right, thank you. And that concludes my board president's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. As part of my superintendent's report for tonight, I would like the entire Hillsborough community, as well as the Board of Education, to please join me in a moment of silence for the horrific tragedy of 9/11 that happened to our country many years ago, but still impacts us. Thank you. As far as the start of the new school year, I want to thank everyone who has put forth their efforts to make it a great start of the year for students. This is in spite of some heat and air conditioning issues, which we're rectifying, as well as we always have transportation glitches at the beginning of the year. But I am so thrilled that I've had the chance to visit every school multiple times during the start of this year and see kids smiling and see teachers performing under sometimes some really hot circumstances. But they did it for the kids, and it's a great way to start the school year, seeing kids smiling. I also wanted to point out that our strategic planning efforts to recruit members of the public, we've already had over 320 people sign up to volunteer to be part of our focus groups. I'm going to extend the focus group time to sign up through our next board meeting. And there's a quick turnaround. We have another board meeting next Monday. So after next Monday, I'm going to be speaking to the board president and board vice president about narrowing down those focus groups to 15 or 20 people. So if you are still interested, please feel free to sign up. It's on our website. Right now, our lowest, the categories we are looking more so for right now are middle school students. We are looking for middle school students, and we are also looking for township and business leaders. Believe it or not, in all other categories, we have a plethora of people, including community members who do not have children who want to be part of our focus group. So we are in good shape, but please feel free to sign up on our website if you are so interested. The other thing that I wanted to bring to the members of the public tonight has to do with what I've been talking about with our Build Borough Back efforts and transparency when it comes to what does this impact mean to you. Behind me on the screen, you will see what we have put together as a tax calculator. Now, I want to repeat again what I have said several times. The school tax rates are going down. That is one of the reasons why, having been here 9 months, I feel it's an appropriate time to address the areas of school security as well as staffing. If I brought this to the members of the community when tax rates are going up, that's a much harder impact. With tax rates going down, there is a good chance that you won't feel this as much when it comes to your individual tax bills. But it's very important for me to be transparent. So what you will see, and I'm sharing this for the first time in our Hillsborough Happenings email on Wednesday, and then it will be out there for a good 7 weeks before the election for you to calculate that out. I do want to say that as a citizen in a democracy, we all have a responsibility to do a little bit of work on our end. We can't just read headlines from sometimes antiquated newspapers or from talking heads on cable news. We need to pay attention and we need to do work in order to figure out some things for ourselves. And that's exactly the tools that I'm giving the people of Hillsborough here. So when you get this page, you will be able to see an explanatory beginning. Then there is a calculator depending on whether or not you live in Hillsborough or in Millstone. And this is where I was talking about where you need to be an informed citizen working in a democracy. You will need the information of your assessed home and your assessed home from this year. It is my understanding that the township is mailing this out, your tax bill, this month. So when you get that, you will use that assessed value to plug into these calculators. Now, if you don't remember everything that I'm saying, as you continue to scroll down, we try to put these things in front of you. That is last year's preliminary tax bill, and people, in order to figure out the impact for them, will need to use the calculator. They will also need to have your last year's tax bill along with this year's tax bill, because if your assessment did change, if your home assessment did change, there could be a tax impact to you. But here's the fact. With tax rates going down, if you have the same assessed value as you did last year, you will still see a decrease overall in taxes. All of that being said, we, in the interest of being transparent, we have it here on the website for you. It will go out to everyone on Wednesday. You can have the next 7 weeks or so to calculate the impact for you. And I'm hoping that just like many people, when they figure that out, will decide that safety and security and positions for the school district is the right way to go. We do have a board meeting next Monday, so I'm going to cut my superintendent's report short right there. But I just wanted to announce this to the community that this will be coming out to you on Wednesday, as well as another video tomorrow and Friday. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Thank you. So that's going to come out in the Hillsborough Happenings communication?
Yes, the community will get the link. It's to the website where the tax calculator is, and that will come out on Wednesday in Hillsborough Happenings, and then it will be up on the website permanently until after the election. So like I said, you'll have good 7 weeks to find those 2 pieces of paper and to run some calculations for yourself.
And it's a good reminder to sign up for the Hillsborough Happenings newsletter if you have not.
Absolutely.
There's one on the board president Facebook page, and I believe it's on the https.us page as well.
Correct.
All right. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 8, policies and regulations requiring annual review. 8.1, the following policies and regulations require annual review by parents, staff, and students where applicable. We're saying we're going to take a vote on this?
Yeah, I think you can take a vote on it. I think it's more informational, but it doesn't hurt to
Okay.
just acknowledge it, I guess.
So in that case, we'll take a motion and second on this.
So moved. Second.
So we'll take a roll. Sorry, any discussion by the board on these? These are just the annual review. Okay, we'll take a roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Lanning Beater?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Nurse?
Yes.
Ms. Stats?
Yes.
Ms. Trujillo?
Yes.
And Mr. Marini?
Yes, motion passes. We'll move on to the approval of minutes. 9.1, motion to approve executive session minutes, August 21st, 2023. Motion to approve public meeting minutes, August 21st, 2023. Motion to approve special public meeting minutes, August 28th, 2023. Can I get a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll now move on to comments from the board and public. We very much welcome input from the public during board meetings. There'll be 2 30-minute periods of time that the meeting will be open for public comment, where members of the public are invited to comment, which they may do if they're attending in person. During the first public comment period, members of the public may comment about items that are listed on tonight's agenda before the board votes. During the second public comment period, members of the public may comment on any school or school district issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the school district, as per bylaw 0167. Before you state your comment, you'll be asked to provide your name and address. There's a 3-minute limit on public comment. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather offer as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In instances where the board believes there's a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent will address the comment. There may be times when a member of the public makes a comment or asks a question about personnel hiring decisions. Kindly note the Open Public Meetings Act. The privacy rights of public employees encompassed therein do not permit the board to discuss personnel issues in public session. So if there's any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will close. And just in case, if there's any board comment before we move on to the action agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll move board comment and move to the action agenda.
Thank you. I'd ask for the board's consideration of the following motions: to approve travel-related expenses, to affirm the superintendent's harassment, intimidation, and bullying determinations, to approve the submission of the Unified Sports Grant, and to approve the submission of the NJ Learning Acceleration High Impact Tutoring Grant.
Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion by the board in this action agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Lanning Beater?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Nurse?
Yes.
Ms. Stats?
Yes.
Ms. Trujillo? And Mr. Marini?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you. In the area of human resources, which is a little bit longer, I'd ask for the board's consideration to approve the following motions: job description, creation of an unbudgeted position, retirements, transfer and changes in assignment, contract change, rescinding an employment contract, revised transportation staff hours, revised science lab coverage, revised leaves of absence, approving leaves of absence, affirming appointments for this school year, 23-24, approving a student teacher, approving mentors and buddies, approving extended media center hours, approving 6th and 7th period coverage, approving extra coverage, approving group changes, motion to approve fall athletic camps, motion to approve summer camp 2023. That was an item that was missed. Same with 12-20, motion to approve summer work that happened in 2023. And finally, motion to approve extended school year program 2023.
Can I get a motion in a second?
I have a question.
We'll take a motion in a second, then we'll have
Okay.
a question on that.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion by the board?
Thanks.
Mr. Davis?
With regard to the job description, the job description is for school counseling, director of school counseling. And I'm just curious, I didn't see anything in the job description having to do with relationships with families or parents or communicating with home or anything like that. Does that have anything to do with this position?
I think it's inherent, honestly, in any educator's position that they are contacting parents. Primary role of the director of school counseling wouldn't necessarily be to contact parents, but he or she certainly will be. But I don't think it needs to be listed as a part of the requirements in the job description. I would expect that all of my staff members, whether they were, a principal or a teacher, to be in contact with parents, and it might not be listed in the job description.
Ms. Stats?
Regarding the same issue, the job description, I do have concerns about the physical requirements, especially that they would be required to be bending, stooping, standing, and being ambulatory. That could, someone who uses a wheelchair, that could possibly exclude them unintentionally. I just would like some modifications to the physical requirements to accommodate that.
Yeah, we also have an ADA statement on the bottom. If there's anyone who needs any kind of reasonable accommodation, we by law have to be able to provide that. So the physical requirements are assuming that someone is in health and has all of those capabilities. And we should list some kind of physical requirements as per best practices for job descriptions. But we are required by law to accommodate for anybody who has the capability of doing the position, but may not be able to do those things. So as a person who used to be in charge of human resources here, I feel fairly comfortable with the job description. And it is advised that we do have some kind of physical requirements.
Any other comments before we move to roll? No? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Lanning-Beater?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Nurse?
Yes.
Ms. Stats?
I vote no on 12-1, motion to approve job description, and yes for the remaining ones.
Ms. Trujillo?
Yes.
And Mr. Marini?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you. I'd ask for the board's consideration in the area of operations to approve the following motions. To accept the corrective action plan for the comprehensive federal monitoring, approving professional services agreement, approving a transportation contract, accepting donations, approving a settlement agreement, approving the disposal and sale of obsolete equipment, a motion to reject the bids for the fire shutter replacement at Hillsborough High School, motion to accept proximity learning quote for German live instruction, and a motion to approve nursing services for the 23-24 school year.
Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on this action plan? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Lanning-Beater?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Nurse?
Yes.
Ms. Stats?
Yes.
Ms. Trujillo? And Mr. Marini?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you. In the area of bylaws, policies, and regulations, I'd ask for the board's consideration of the following: approving a bylaw reviewed by the Governance Committee for second reading, and approving policies reviewed by the Operations Committee for second reading.
Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion by the board? Seeing none, we'll move to roll.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Lanning-Beater?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Ms. Nurse?
Yes.
Ms. Stats?
Yes.
Ms. Trujillo?
Yes.
And Mr. Marini?
Yes, motion passes. All right, we'll move on to comments from the board and public. We very much welcome members of the public. During board meetings, there'll be 2 30-minute periods of time that the meeting will be open for public comment, where members of the public are invited to comment, which they may do if they are attending in person. During the second public comment period, members of the public may comment on any school or school district issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the school district as per bylaw 0167. Before you state your comment, you ask to provide your name and address. There's a 3-minute limit on public comment. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In instances where the board believes there's a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent will address the comment. Many times when a member of the public makes a comment or asks a question about personnel hiring decisions, kindly note the Open Public Meetings Act and the privacy rights of public employees encompassed therein do not permit the board to discuss personal issues in public session. Any comments from the public? All right, we will close public comment and we will move. I know, so I'm confused. We'll move to any board comments or anything that board members would like to add. All right. In that case, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Now we're all, now we got our legs beneath us. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you soon.
Thank you.